Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness is set in the 1890s at the height of European colonization of the African continent. In the introduction, 5 friends sit on a yacht waiting for the tide to change on the River Thames so they can head out to sea. Marlow, the storyteller of the group, begins a tale by saying, "And England also has been one of the dark places of the earth." His words set the dark, brooding tone of the novella. He tells his friends he once signed on to pilot a boat upriver in Africa. Marlow explains that he undertook the trip while working for a European ivory extraction operation known simply as the Company. In the Rising action, the Company hired Marlow in Europe and gave him the task of picking up one of its agents in Africa, a man named Kurtz, to relieve him of his duty. Apparently, Kurtz employed questionable methods for consistently collecting more ivory than any of the other Company stations. With this goal in mind, Marlow travels to Africa. He disembarks at the coastal outer station and then travels 200 miles to the Company's central station, where the river is navigable and his steamer is supposed to be waiting for him. Once there, Marlow learns that his steamer is sunk at the bottom of the river. He meets the central station manager, who tells him that the situation is very grave at the inner station, where Kurtz is the agent and where Marlow is meant to pilot the steamer. Marlow's told it will take 3 months to repair the boat, and he concludes that the delays are intentional. Kurtz is ill, and the manager hopes he'll die before Marlow reaches him. Marlow overhears a conversation between the station manager and his uncle. The two exchange dark hints about Kurtz's character and behavior. Eventually, the boat is repaired, and along with the manager and pilgrims and 20 cannibals, Marlow heads upriver. 8 miles from the inner station, the steamer is attacked by natives. Marlow's helmsman is killed. Marlow pitches the body overboard to avoid having it eaten by the native crew members. When they eventually meet, Kurtz tells Marlow some of his ideas. Marlow has read Kurtz's report, arguing that godlike whites can bring civilization to Africa. Marlow thinks Kurtz has gone mad. Arriving at Central Station, Marlow meets a Russian dressed in colorful, patchworked clothes that make him look like a harlequin. The Russian tells Marlow that Kurtz often spends long periods in the jungle, staying with the native people or gathering ivory. He suggests Kurtz uses extreme methods to secure the ivory, and he says the native people adore him. Marlow observes fence posts with severed human heads on them. When Kurtz arrives, he's on a stretcher, very ill. With mixed feelings about Kurtz, Marlow agrees to protect his papers and his reputation once Marlow returns to Europe. In the climax, Kurtz dies on the trip downriver. The last thing Marlow hears him say is, "The horror, the horror." In the falling action, Marlow delivers Kurtz's report to a journalist for publication and his papers to the fiancée Kurtz left behind in Europe. And in the resolution, we come to the end of Marlow's tale, and the action returns to the 5 friends on the yacht. The Thames is flowing under an overcast sky into the heart of an immense darkness.